First session today is going to be, the topic is connected devices, the driving new business. That's going to be our topic today, and all the interesting devices that we have available to us that we can connect to our building automation systems, whether they be BACnet MSTP, IP, or maybe some wireless stuff. We're going to get with our speakers here today, and they're going to give us a highlight of each one of their products that they're either working on now or working on in the future. Do we get everybody mic'd up? We ready to introduce everyone? I think I see two people over there. Oh, there's the other John. All right. So first we're going to thank our sponsors for our lunch today, because everyone said they loved the lunch. Our sponsor was View, Smart Buildings Cloud. So let's give it up for View.
View Secure Edge is an all-in-one platform to secure OT networks, connect remote users to OT and OT to the cloud, and deploy Edge applications easily. It's deployed in over 650 buildings worldwide, and with ISO, SOC 2 compliance, and more, it is verified secure. Secure Edge is like a moat for OT. Let's start with an IT and OT parable. Information Town is modern, with multi-layered security. This sets the standard for Operations Town, where legacy technologies leave it vulnerable to threats of ransomware attacks. Over time, teams in OT have opened various gates to access different interconnected systems. With one stolen password, a bad actor can breach this legacy security approach and find a vulnerable system to take for ransom. And with multiple points of entry, all interconnected systems risk attack with the breach of the weakest access point. How can Operations Town have a single, unbreachable entry point? With a moat or secure edge built around it preventing multiple entrances. With multi-factor security creating zero trust protection for all systems, Secure Edge is what IT is looking for. Guest identity verification requires an authenticated user with MFA and a timed security key uniquely authorized only for access to a specific OT resource. Once inside, the Secure Edge acts as an escort, monitoring guest activity and collecting the security key when they are escorted out upon completion. With its Secure Edge in place, Operations Town now receives a seal of approval from IT. Operations Town can now focus on modernization. In fact, the Secure Edge is a gateway to all kinds of innovation, but that's a different story you should ask us about. Let's look at the architecture of View Secure Edge and how it creates your moat. It starts with a simple and secure interface to the IT network. You install the hardened iNode appliance plus OS without having to remove anything else. With secure boot, full disk encryption, and default deny for zero trust, IT will love the Secure Edge. Even better, it's not a PC. All of the configuration and control is via a secure portal through two-way authenticated tunnels. No web browsing or email downloads. Two-way authenticated tunnels also enable secure data movement to customer and vendor clouds. Secure Edge provides role-based, agentless remote access for vendors, only to OT they are authorized for, and using SSO and MFA that IT will applaud. Plus, everything is logged and traceable. Finally, this is also a secure, fully managed Docker runtime environment for one-click deployment of applications from our customizable marketplace. View Secure Edge is an easy-to-install, all-in-one platform that starts a building portfolio on a secure and innovative journey to the cloud with a clear ROI. Secure buildings. Cloud connected. Intelligent Edge. View Secure Edge. Proud to be a Cochrane Supply partner.
All right. Once again, thanks to View for providing lunch for us today. It was really good. I thought it was good. I had to eat it really fast, but it was pretty good. All right. So, again, thanks for coming to Connected Devices, Driving New Business. Right now, we're going to invite our panel up. We're going to start with Justin Lindstrom from Belimo. Where are you, Justin? There he is. He's coming up to the stage. We're also going to invite up John Binger from Functional Devices. And then we're going to also invite up John Greenwald from BAPI today. Let's give these guys a round of applause for yep, for joining us today, and especially right after lunch. I know they just ate, so they're probably still. Yep. They gotta suck in this tummy a little bit before they speak. So, those of you that don't know me, I am Gus Border with Cochran Supply and Engineering. I'm the regional sales leader for the South region here for Cochran. I've been in the distribution business for about 22 years. Prior to that, 21 years in the contracting business as a startup test and balance and controls technician. So I've been around for a little while in this industry, and I've seen it grow up. It was interesting to see the video this morning and watching the pneumatic and then the electromechanical stuff, and then now the DDC, and now moving in the cloud. It's unusual. We have a lot of younger people in here, but I've actually lived through each one of those phases in this industry and grew up in this industry. So next to me here is Mr. William Cooper. He is our area market leader for Cochran Supply, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is William Cooper. I'm the area market leader for Cochran. I've had the good fortune of working with Gus for about the last 20 years. I got started with in controls with a company called Temperature Control Systems. Who Mr. Cross here gave me a chance, who's in the house today, so I appreciate that very much. And anyways, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that came out. Over the last 6 months, I've been making phone calls to all of you, and I'm really happy that you made it and made the trip out, and I really appreciate it. So anyways, this is about connected devices and driving new business. The latest and greatest BAS and N devices are changing the dynamics of many projects. With OT networks taking over the typical jobs, IP devices can bring big benefits for contractors and building owners. In this session, we'll learn how to best utilize IP devices and how they can help to create new business applications and opportunities.
All right, so we're going to start with our first guest speaker. We're going to give them each a chance to go through and highlight some of their products that they have, and then we're going to follow up that with a couple of questions William and I have for them. And then after we're done with that, we're going to open it up for the audience to ask a couple of questions that the audience might want to ask these guys about some of their new products coming out. Then, of course, if we can't get to all those questions, please go by and visit them at the booth during the afternoon session for the vendors over there. Stop by their booth, and I'm sure they'll tell you about many more of their other products while they're over there. So first up, we're going to have John Binger from Functional Devices go through his. Let's hear it for him. Let's hear it. We want it.
You just advance in here and then say advance.
Yeah. Then you say advance. All
right, old eyes. So welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. It's my first event of this time with this company, ControlsCon. I've been with Functional Devices for about 10 months. So I came from the security and access control world. Spent about 5 years with a company called Allegion. They're based in Indianapolis, and they make a lot of commercial door hardware for that industry and that world, schools, commercial buildings, et cetera. So I was the director of product management there for mechanical and electrified and electronic locks, and so spent quite a bit of time in the security access control side of the business. This is a little bit of a different world, a little bit more technical for me. So 10 months in, I'm still getting my sea legs a bit, so bear with me as I kind of walk through our products, and if you have questions that I can't answer for you, please stop by our table and make sure we get you your answers before the day's out. So I wanted to take a few minutes just to talk about the existing products that we offer today in our portfolio. Many of you are probably familiar with these products, but a refresher is always, good for a large group like this. So we have basically two types of products that we offer today, our basic I/O products and our analog products. Both are BACnet MSTP protocol. And the products that you're probably most familiar with are just our relays with single binary input, single binary output. We also have a product that we offer that is a board of 4 relays. that you can use that sometimes is more economical. Oh, you don't have,
You got to say advanced.
oh, sorry.
Next slide, please. There you go. There we caught up.
All right, my apologies. I didn't realize I had to start that off right from the beginning. Okay, so apologies, folks. I'll back up here a little bit. So we have basic I/O products and analog products, and the products that you're probably most familiar with are our relay products with MSTP on them, and you can get them in a couple of different flavors. You know, one binary input, one binary output, or you can get a board with 4 relays on it. Sometimes that's a little bit more of an economical approach than buying 4 separate relays, because we've combined the products onto a single board, so it makes it a little bit more cost effective if you have a larger project that you're connecting devices to. We also do have an optional integrated current sensor with our binary input and output relays. And then in addition, we actually do have a 12 input board that we offer that does have an optional accumulator. So if you're measuring pulses of some kind somewhere and you want to accumulate those, we have that capability with our products. That's our basic product line that we sell quite a few of. There's probably half a dozen different products in that range, and it probably addresses most of the needs for which we provide products for as peripheral devices. And then below that is kind of a dip into the waters of not true control type product, but more of an augmentation to a control, where we provide some local control in specific applications, specifically around fan safety and smoke control. So this is a board that has 7 in and 2 out IOs. It is UL 864 approved, and the way I kind of think about products, I think about them in terms of what do they do for you. And so in this particular type of a product, for example, it does provide some more of edge control and a little bit more edge decision making. And so, for example, if you had a smoke alarm that was attached to your HVA system, and that smoke alarm detected smoke, you could use this board to close a damper, turn the fan off, and activate your chiller, for example. So it's a great board to kind of consolidate rather than wiring up all these different relays. It's a great board that you can consolidate that effort and wire everything to the board and have a little bit more of a local control. So definitely meant as an augmentation and certainly not a replacement to a control unit. Over on the analog side, we do have a couple of analog products. So we have our basic I/O products. So think about everything over on the left that I just talked about, the binary input-output, but with an analog input. And then below that, we have a basic I/O product. So think about the above product, but with an analog output. So the RIB TW24B-BCAO has all the features that you would find kind of on the left, in addition to all the features on the RIB TW24B-BCAI, but then also with additional analog output. So we kind of stack up features with our product lines to provide you the flexibility based on what you need for your particular application. And last but not least, on our connected products, now this isn't all of our connected products, these are just ones that I wanted to highlight for you today. We do have power meters. So we offer this product in a couple of different ways. We offer it as a standalone board that you could buy and install and connect everything to, or you can buy a kit. And these are revenue grade, 1 to 3 phase power meters. They're not a standalone item, so they don't make decisions about anything. They're just passing information through with an MSTP connection. It does need a controller, and the kit is kind of a functional devices heritage of how we build and develop products for you, the end users, is we try to build as much capability and functionality to make installation as easy as possible. So with our kit, what we're providing beyond just the board is we're providing a 16 amp breaker disconnect that allows you to disconnect and break away from the power if you need to for service or troubleshooting. And we also have 3 fuse slots in the device for 2 amp fuses. So this provides you a way to kind of bundle everything together and then just connect to that versus having to connect a bunch of different devices and then connect them together. So that's kind of our round out of our product lines that we offer today. We do have some wireless products as well. They're kind of more corner case items, wireless relays at 900 megahertz. If you're interested in those and want to get some more information about those, please stop by our table. We can share some information about those as well. But this is kind of a high-level look at what we provide today. Next slide, please. How do I advance? There we go. So we do have two new products that we're displaying here at the show today. The first product is our initial foray into IP-related products. So think of what I just talked to you about with MSTP and our relays, single input, single output, binary product, but instead of the MSTP protocol, we now have an IP connection, an Ethernet port. So we now have the ability to use BACnet relay over IP, and this is the first of what we hope are many, many products that we deliver as we round out and migrate our MSTP portfolio into the IP realm. I was actually pretty surprised that we didn't have more when I first came on board with the company. It's my understanding that IP is becoming more and more of a demand, especially in your world, and so look for many more of these types of products to come in the future with more enhanced and added capabilities. It is 120 to 277 voltage VAC with a 20 amp relay. Now it does have a single IP port over Ethernet, and I recognize already some of you saying, well, it'd be great if you had another port so we could daisy chain those together. So we already have a roadmap and a plan for that to follow up very closely behind with a second Ethernet port on this product so that you can daisy chain these together, and that makes your installation a lot easier and a lot more cost effective. Over on the right-hand side, we have what I'm really excited about. It's not necessarily a connected product per se, but it can be used to power connected products. So we're showing this here today because many of you build panels and create panels and install panels out in the field. This is our foray into a DIN rail mounted transformer. So this is a housed transformer, 96 VA, and it has a 4 amp circuit breaker on it. So think about our TR100 VA01 product, VA100-01 product. It's basically that type of a product, just housed in a box that you can mount right on a DIN rail. And so the value proposition here really is, think about how little time it would take you to mount this on a DIN rail, hook up to the pluggable terminals, and be ready to go, versus the work that your electrician or your panel builder would have to do to install a foot-mounted transformer, wire to that, and then put that in place. So we feel that beyond just the aesthetics and the clean lines and the clean look inside of a panel, which I know many panel builders value, there is an element of cost savings here by not tying up a high-value electrician, wiring up a transformer. They can just pop it on, wire to the pluggable terminals, and go. Now we do have high-low voltage pluggable terminals that are mounted on opposite corners of the product, and this doesn't eliminate the possibility of miswiring, but it certainly minimizes significantly the opportunity to miswire the product. Now this is a product that is going to be available around the end of June, and it is a single tap product. Right now we passed UL, we're in the process of building our inventory and getting that in place so that we're ready to fill orders as soon as we make the announcement that it's available. And on our roadmap here is also a double tap option in the future. So we're really excited about both these products and what they can offer for you in the marketplace, but please, my sincere ask is for all of you, please provide feedback. If you get these products in your hands, nothing is more valuable than your feedback back to us about how they're working, how they're not working, where can we improve, where can we make changes and improvements. So we are all about that for you and making your life easier out in the field. And so that ends kind of my portion of the talk, and thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, John. Next up, we have Bappy. He's already up here, John Bappy. There we go.
Very much. Everybody hear me okay? Are we on?
Volume up on.
Okay. How about now? Well, it's great to see a lot of familiar faces here. George, Tim. It's and a lot of new faces too, so this is kind of exciting. And I'd like to thank Scott for having us here again. By the way, my name's John Greenwald. I'm with Bappy. I help manage the distribution sales channel. And started in the industry in May 2000. So, again, that's why I see a lot of familiar faces, and it's an honor to be here, see everybody. But Scott had asked me about when I started, and it kind of reminded me that Scott was actually my first sales call back in 2000. And you've come a long way since then, and we've got to see a lot of exciting stuff.
So you, Jeff.
All the way to Dallas. So, in case you're wondering about BAPI, in case you're unfamiliar, we've been in business since 1993, celebrated our 30th anniversary. This is a picture of our facility in Gaze Mills, Wisconsin. In case you're wondering, Gaze Mills is in the southwest corner of Wisconsin, about 15 miles from the Mississippi River. And this is where we design, engineer, and manufacture 99% of our product. So it is a truly American-made company, and we do make a truly American-made product. So it's spacebar? Just okay, page down. Next slide. So we do offer some digitally communicating sensors, but I thought this would might be more interesting because it's kind of a crowded space right now. So I wanted to show you something that you could install parallel to your control system, or even integrate into your controller. So we have a new wireless system that communicates via Bluetooth Low Energy. And there's several different ways to install this product. You can actually use our gateway, which collects information from the sensors via Bluetooth, and then we upload it to the cloud. And you can take that, we can upload that information to your cloud. We can share the encryption with you if you're willing to do something like that. We also have our own service, which is a subscription-based service. And it's really, again, it's parallel to your control system. So it's a remote monitoring. And what the cloud service does is it will provide you with live data, whether either via the website, or you can log on via your smartphone or tablet, and it does provide alarming functions as well. So it is communicating with the user or the building owner or you, just to let you know that something is operating outside of a specified range. Okay. And again, what we call the WAM, or the Wireless Asset Monitoring System, it is an optional service for you to offer to your customers. Again, it can operate parallel with your control systems. So how does it work? So you would essentially install a wireless sensor, one of our wireless sensors, within range of a gateway, or within range of one of your Bluetooth-enabled controllers. And it just quite simply communicates with the gateway, and we upload that information to the cloud. If it's your cloud service, you can do whatever you like with it, set your own alarms, provide feedback to the end user, just let them know that everything is operating okay. Or if they use, you get a little bit more functionality if you use our subscription service, where you get access to the real-time data and alarming. You can configure the alarms, you can configure the transmission rates, and we do have two-way communication between the gateway and the sensor. So you can actually configure those sensors on the fly.
What's your cloud called? What's your cloud called?
It's called WAM, Wireless Asset Monitoring System. So, and then of course we have our conventional wireless system, which would allow you to interface directly with our wireless system. We convert that signal to analog, and then you can just land those terminal or the wires on your controller. So, but this not quite as exciting as the WAM system is. It's just more generic. So that's it.
All right. Thank you, John. All right. So next up, we have Justin Lindstrom from Belimo. He's going to come up and talk about his products.
Riley, we're going to be advancing pretty quickly. I have a bunch of animations, and I'll spare you the drama as we go through. My name is Justin Lindstrom. I am the Digital Applications Manager at Belimo. Been with Belimo since 2016. The main function there is to, for these more, I won't say complicated, but these connected device and products, I assist both internal, external customers with not only product design, but how to implement them, integrate them, kind of help define various objects if you're BACnet people, and kind of work in that almost PM realm between use cases and users and liaising with engineering. Previous to that, I was like most talkers here today, I was a systems integrator, kind of come from that background in field chasing comm loops, so I'm very familiar with that particular struggle. If you advanced, Riley. Yeah, let's see what do we got. Yeah. Just keep going. All right, so we kind of break our product line down into two different categories. We have connected, which is like analog style devices that are represented just like analog input, analog output. They're controllable over a communication bus. On the right-hand side, that's our flagship valve, the energy valve. And we call those smart devices, and why we call that is they have temperature sensors, they have some ability to perform some logic, some application-specific logic. A lot of them have the ability to store trending information, as well as communicate over a bus. Riley, if you would. What do we got here? Just keep on going. Fill them up. So this is our product line. Keep on going. So on the left-hand side, we have these are all devices that we make that communicate BACnet, MSTP, and Modbus RTU. So these cover pretty much all the applications you know Belimo by, whether water, we have PR 1440 inch-pound actuator, we have pipe and duct sensors, we have outside air quality sensors. We have a new product line, fairly new, called Belimo Sensors Inc. These are gas monitors, and as well as the new room operating unit that is BACnet MSTP. Just keep on going, Riley. All right, so on the right side, these are the IP connected devices. So this is BACnet IP and Modbus TCP. And same layout. So these are both valve and damper actuators. We have some globe valves, as well as both versions of fail-safe, spring and electronic. Go to Riley next, please. Keep on cycling. So what's kind of a little bit more about this, we call them dash mod because we had Modbus before we had BACnet, but we never changed the material number. So what's actually really cool, why I like these particular devices a lot, is not only they communicate, they actually have the ability to hook up sensors to them. And with that, we can do an active, we can do a passive, we can, as well as a switch digital contact. And that's the kind of information you get. Not only you send position command, you can get the feedback, you get sensor value, and actuator status. This is kind of cool. This is kind of where we kind of expand from that analog model where instead of these ins and outs, actually, who wires feedback on damper actuators? So one. Anybody else? Who does it on purpose? Because it costs more money. Okay. All right, so this is kind of, we call it feedback for free because you're already connecting to it, you get all this information from this device. So if a damper gets stuck, someone clutches it out and forgets to release it, this is actually some of that information that could be really useful when troubleshooting, like, zones over temp, feedback, set point aren't matching. These are just little pieces of information that you get by connecting these devices. Well, if you would. Okay. So this is the IP series. So this is BACnet IP, Modbus TCP. Same kind of setup, except that you can actually hook up two sensors to this particular device, as well as it has the ability to connect to our cloud. That's Belimo's own hosted cloud infrastructure. Well, if you would. Just fill it up, if you would. All right, and these are our smart devices. Keep on going. And this is where we have some kind of sensor, some kind of application logic inside, and then, again, the ability to communicate. So this from start on the left-hand side, we have a 6-way ePIV. This is great for like chilled beams, so we can do both heating and cooling. We have that one kind of, I guess, the 10 o'clock position is a VAV compact. This is our airflow measurement and control actuator. Next over is our VRU. So same guts as the VAV, but allows you to hook it up to a different damper. So you can do, if you need a larger torque range, you hook it up. Next one over is fairly new, is FSKN. This is a remote fire smoke damper testing. So NFPA, I think it was 2 years ago, now allows you to remotely test fire smoke and damper actuators. So you send BACnet, discover, bring in the objects. There's actually one object, command, you send a test. It goes through its paces, opens and closes, hits the various contacts, comes back and gives you a yay or nay. So no longer do you need to do line of sight testing. So it's a pretty neat device. Zip economizer. Who's familiar with the zip economizer? Just curious. Okay, great. Okay. What else we got there? So EPIV. This is just a pressure independent flow control valve. Give it a set point. Give it a position. We have flange and as well as flagship energy valve, which is PoE. A lot of talk about IP connectivity. This is our first foray into those PoE devices. Okay, Riley, if you would. All right, keep going. Just go ahead and fill it out. So I kind of want to bring some applications of this. You can keep going. So some actual applications of these devices. This one's actually one of my favorite. This is an OEM that hired a local controls contractor to outfit these fermentation tanks for their brewery. And so what ended up happening was they didn't have enough I/O in this particular controller they were using. And they're like, how do we make this system extensible? So I forget how the call came in, but we eventually started talking to both the OEM and the integrator and said, hey, listen, we have this line of IP devices. This might suit you well. So what ended up happening is on that first tank represents what they had. They're like, hey, listen, we don't want to buy a new controller every time we want to increase the capacity of this brewing system. So with the IP device, super simple. They run Cat5 back, put it into a switch, and it made all of that sensor and control ability available to that, their control sequence. So they just infinitely made their system extensible just by leveraging communications. Right, if you would. Okay. So this is our room operating unit, BACnet MSTP. You can click again if you would. So this was a DCV retrofit. So I forget, somewhere north, I believe Maine. And what the intent was, they want to revamp their system to do DCV control, and they needed to do in-zone occupancy sensing. And what ended up happening was someone missed it on the schedule and in the spec. So when they got on site and they're going through commissioning, like, where's the occupancy sensor? So that particular device has a digital input contact. They're able to run the occupancy to the digital contact and bring that information through to the front end and then apply logic to it. So it was actually kind of saved the day for that particular the contractor. Riley, if you would. Okay, keep going. This one's actually, a lot of talk about clouds and data centers and data lakes. This right here is an application for a chip manufacturer that came through and needed a specific style of control for these particular server racks. This is direct chip cold plate technology. And so what's actually happening, that's our EV4. And we're taking a DP sensor, putting it across supply and return, and how they want to control these particular servers is by a DP. Because really each and every one of those represents an identical CV. So if you know DP, you can figure out the flow across all the various racks. We try to sell them on pressure independent solutions, on flow monitoring solutions, but you can't do that for every single rack. Go back if you would. And so actually now the latest version of Energy Valve 4 includes this mode of operation. It's called DP control. So I know you guys have a pretty extensive data center space down here. This is actually now on one of the manufacturer's reference designs. So you might be seeing this particular application in a data center near you. Riley, if you would. I mean, all this morning we heard about, IP connectivity, AI, this access to data and how important the data is. If you keep on advance, please. So we recognized this years ago when we're still figuring out, like a lot of other manufacturers of devices. Advance, please. And so we have we call Belimo Cloud. It's our digital ecosystem. And we first started off using it for production. Like every time a Belimo device is made, it gets serialized. At that instance, there is another instance in the digital twin. So that's mirrored. So even if it's never connected, and how we connect is hardwired with IP, or we have an app, we call it a temporary connection. So you scan it, parameterize it. That creates an instance. Phone's home kind of registers it as a device in the cloud. But we use this in production. Send it, give it serialized, send it to the cloud. We temporary connection, permanent connection, as well as we have various apps that help you configure C devices, have access to the data. And behind that, there it is. Okay, so it's free. We do not charge for this service. We will not charge for this service. It's easy to use. We have an open architecture. It's actually pretty easy to use. It's a RESTful API. And I say GDPR for if you're in the space and you know that's EU, so big deal. Riley, if you click next. This is the actual status of the various privacy initiatives in the US. And you can see some are pending, some have been passed. It is a quagmire of compliance. Go to Riley, if you would. So yesterday, we've reached our milestone of over 1 million digital twins. It's like, okay, wow, what does that mean? So it means at least 1 million of these particular devices, whether with our app or through a hardwired connection, have been linked in the cloud. And we fully admit, we don't know what to do with all this data. There's a tremendous amount of information coming from these devices. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? A couple conversations came up today already as far as semantics and ontologies, how to tag these pieces of information so as it percolates up and it doesn't lose its value and kind of get interpreted incorrectly. So we work very hard. We have a couple members on ASHRAE that sit on these various groups so we can get this right. Because as an end device manufacturer, at the point of control, that to us is one of the most important, I'll say data cleansing, but the phrase single point of truth, to get that information at its source, to be able to pass it through, we don't take that very lightly. Bradley, if you would. Okay, so, and again, as a device manufacturer, we don't offer any services on this cloud information. This is we just store it because we need integrators, cloud integrators, to work with it and offer up their own services. If you click again, you're from Code Labs. These are just different collaborators, we call them. Tenant building, analytics, construction management. Riley, if you advance. Actually, I have a Node Red if you want to mess around. If you're familiar with Node Red and Raspberry Pi, you can get into one of those and grab some information and mess around. Okay, Riley, advance, please. Keep on going. All right, so this aspect is of interest to you. We have a developer space where we have a bunch of examples on how to access and pull in this information, manipulate it. If you press again, please. In kind of examples of how to structure, we talk about JSON. Actually, what's pretty cool, if you take the examples, throw them in, and don't know, and messed it up, throw it into ChatGPT, it'll spit it back at you with the correct formatting. So, okay, advance. So those particular devices I showed you, if you're interested, that QR code will lead you to a communication brochure that lists all the products and the various material numbers for them. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. That was really good. As you can see, there was a lot of OT stuff for end devices in here, way beyond our normal building automation controls. So there was a lot of good content in there. We're William, I think it's time we ask him a few questions here. How are we on time? You're over. We're over? You are. Okay, so we're not going to ask any questions, but we are going to ask if the audience has any questions. You guys got any questions you would like to ask our panel?
I can ask a quick question.
There we go.
How are you going to cyber secure all these products?
Sorry, was that like dropping a fart in the wrong time? I mean, just kidding. Just kidding. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to answer that. We're here to help you. Don't worry. We'll put you behind firewalls. You'll be okay. So.
We're going to connect them to our controllers.
There you go. There you go.
So again, thank you, panel, for being up here. Justin, John, and John, we really appreciate you guys. Let's give them a round of applause for being up here and helping us out today.
Okay, so we'll keep this rolling. Next panel, Greg, Ed, I see you guys, Nick. Who else is on my next panel? Julian, there he is. I think I got my panel. No mics, you guys.